Hello friends and fellow gamers, MKxJUMP here, and today we're checking out this week's event for Idle Heroes, and there's some huge implications for free-to-play players, as you can probably now approach the game in a new style if DHGames keep up the trend that I think we're going to be seeing in future weeks and even months ahead. Yes, that is right, there is a way for you to get your hands on a mysterious artifact selection chest, as well as saving profit orbs and heroic summon scrolls that we already talk about. There's a new trick, so we're going to be talking about that. But before we go check out this event, let me remind you about Patreon. Patreon is a way that you can support my channel by sending a little bit of money my way, and in return get some privileges through Discord, and as well get access to account reviews which happen on Tuesday evenings. So if you want to join us for that, please do tune into our Twitch streams at 9 PM GMT on a Tuesday to make sure that you can sign up via Discord. But also we've got some new people that have backed me on Patreon as well. So a shout out to Zane Durchie, Thomas Dodds, Seamus O'Brien, Cody Rupert, Tater, and Ben Roberts. Thank you so much for your continued support, and if you want to be like them, check out the link up there in the top corner of the screen. Anyway folks, let's go check out this week's event for Idle Heroes. So, every day for logging in, we're going to get ourselves 4 dice and 100 Voodoo Dolls. This is totally normal and to be expected from this event. Now, most importantly about this is these Voodoo Dolls are going to be what you need to get rewards from the campaign loot drop event, and the dice are going to be important for Imp's adventure, so make sure you do not miss a login. You can get more Voodoo Dolls by claiming from campaign, so you can see I have 46 here that I can just go ahead and grab, and that will be true for you throughout the week, so make sure you log in at least every 24 hours so that you can go ahead and claim your rewards. You can also just quick claim them through Idle Master, which should make your life a little bit easier. As well, let's head over to the cool events and check some things out. So first of all, the value packages are super standard. It's your normal dice and your normal gems, and weirdly DHGames have gotten rid of the $1 package we saw near the bottom of this, which I thought was a really cool addition, as it would allow people, if they low rolled in Imp's adventure, to actually have a way of getting themselves just the 1 or 2 dice they need to complete the event. Unfortunately, what I expect is that sales of the $10 package went down because people were buying the $1 package instead, and therefore DHGames decided to flip their decision and just make the $10 package the lowest. That, or they forgot to add it into this event. But I really hope it's they forgot, because if it's that they decided, oh, you know what, we're not going to be nice to our community and let them have a really cheap way to complete an event if they low roll, well, that's just sinister and not very nice. So I can see the marketing model, but at the same time, it's a little bit mean, and I'm sad to see the $1 package go. I did hear that people relied on that sometimes, or at least had in the past, to actually complete an event. It was the same for Sky Labyrinth. We had a $1 package there. So we'll have to see in the next Sky Labyrinth event to see if it also is missing, and then in future Imp's Adventure, the same thing. So it's a shame to see that it's gone. Starry Gem package, same story here. It's your usual stuff. You've got 2 and 2 on either side, so go nuts. The adventure package here is surprising. So obviously, one thing we haven't mentioned is the prices haven't changed, and we haven't heard a statement from DHGames yet as to whether they do intend on doing this or whether they don't. And this is no different for the adventure package. This is still $50, and it is still the price that's changed for a lot of people. It's £50 for me, which is not equal to $50 US, but obviously after tax things are different. But what I feel about this right now is that this package is actually pretty incredible. It's got 7,000 gems, 25 dice, 1,800 contract story gems, which is massive, especially when you consider later parts of this event, and 10 Cores of Transcendence. This is really nice value. Now, the thing that bothers me about this is that it is nice value. So there's potentially a chance that DHGames, rather than reducing the prices, are just going to increase the amount of stuff we get. That is still going to result in more sales for them and actually probably bring spenders back on board, which would be nice to see, but at the same time, it will probably break people's mindset on whether something is or isn't good value, and will get people into the same old habits, and then DHGames can just get away with increasing the price or decreasing it depending on where you're from, just adjusting them, right? So on one hand, you could argue that this is actually perfectly fine value, even if your price has gone up, because the stuff you're getting is fantastic. But I don't want to encourage you to buy this at all. One thing I realized, and I want you to take this into perspective, is we ran a poll on Twitch, and that was a sample size of a good number of people. Like, I get like 200, 300 viewers on Twitch sometimes, and we had 200 viewers at the time, and I was like, yo, who is free to play? We ran a poll. Now, not all 200 did enter the poll, but it turned out 50% of people free to play, which means 50% of people aren't. And in fact, it was slightly less than 50% that said they were free to play, so over 50% aren't. Now, let's say from that, let's be wild, let's say all of them would buy adventure packages and things like that. If I go ahead and tell you, hey guys, this is an amazing package, go ahead and buy it, it just made me realize that if 10,000 people watch this video, that's 5,000 people that could potentially buy this package, and 5,000 times 50 is $250,000 that me saying, yo, buy this package, could influence. I find that ludicrous. The fact that one single word, one single piece of advice that I can say can influence that much market pull. Now, I'm not pretending for a moment that I have that much power. I'm not pretending for a moment that people are going to buy because I told them to. I know there's people that would have already bought this regardless what I thought or not. But there is a significant number of people that I can influence to buy this particular thing. I can also influence people not to buy it. Now, you're probably wondering, where does MK still stand on this no purchasing thing? Honestly, I'll be blunt with you. I need DHGames to make a statement. I don't care if they're trying to save face. I don't care if they're trying to hide whatever lie and concoction they've spun for themselves. They said in their first original social media post that they're doing this to adjust for inflation. Inflation happens in all countries. So why didn't the value in US dollars go up? Also, inflation isn't going to affect a commodity like this, right? It's not like they need raw resources to make value packages. All they need is a guy with a bit of code and a guy with an image that they already have, right? It's not like they magically have to reinvent 7,000 gems from some invisible mine every time they make a package. No, this is just a bit of code that they can throw out and sell. It's not like they're affected by the price of things going up in value. If you go to your local restaurant and they put prices up, it's because the cost of meat or the cost of oil or the cost of supplies has increased. It's not like the cost of gems and the cost of dice has increased, right? It doesn't cost them anything to make this in the first place, apart from the energy they have to consume to keep the powers on, right? To keep the lights on, to keep the servers running. So, has electricity prices really gone up that much? Well, they didn't change the price in US dollars. So, no, because that didn't change. US dollars didn't budge. So when they argue it's about inflation, you'd expect US dollar prices to go up in proportion with inflation as well. So they were just clearly lying to us. If it's inflation in proportion with the US dollars, then it's not inflation. It's just the change of the global market, right? And I guess that's what they did do, but it's just weird. I feel like we're being deceived. And I just want a statement from DHGames that says the truth, right? If there is some pressure that has come from, I don't know, some fancy boardroom where there's some rich investors that are like, we want to see more money. Like, I get that, right? As a content creator, I'm always chasing numbers. I'm always trying to beat previous records, previous highs, or match previous highs. The worst thing that you can get as a creator is to get a really big high at one point and then just see yourself plummet. That naturally happens for me as a creator. I've reached that point. June, July, I get more views than I ever do, and then everything goes down until Christmas, it goes back up again, and then in January, my views plummet, and my advertising revenue plummets. Because advertisers don't spend as much in January. And that makes me feel sad because I make less money in January than I do in December. And that feels bad. But I have an understanding of my market and I can go, well, that's fine. But obviously, if DHGames see a drop in price, they're going to judge themselves. And if it keeps going down, they're going to judge themselves harder. So they might start blaming the global economy. And that's a very easy thing to do, by the way, to scapegoat the global economy for the reason you're not making as much money. So what are they going to do? Readjust the global economy, complain at countries for having bad economies, and then fix it. And then they can go, haha, that's fixed our income problem. But that's assuming that people are going to continue to spend the way they will if you change the prices. And that's why hashtag no spending is happening. I don't want to ramble on about it too much, but all I want is just a bit of honesty, a bit of truth, a bit of transparency from DHGames, whether they've actually chosen to adjust the prices, whether they're considering it. I just want to know where they're at. Join us in this conversation. You don't have to hide behind your screens and your text. We care as a community the problems and the conundrums you're having. If you're in a catch-22 where you're like, well, on one hand, we don't want to increase the prices, but on the other, we feel we have to because we need to reach market goals and we need to reach a certain amount of income and that's gone down, then talk to us. We as a community can understand that dilemma, or at least I can as a creator. I know as soon as they put out the first post, as soon as they put out that update where prices changed, their community marketing person messaged me saying, hey, I need your feedback on this, which means from the get-go, they were insecure about the decision to increase prices. So people are going to turn around to me and say, MK, are you buying this package? The answer is, no. Not until DHGames make a statement. And then I will reassess my position. I won't instantly buy if DHGames say something. I will just reassess my opinion because I just want some transparency, some communication. And DHGames have been putting out social media posts. They've been trying to distract us with little community giveaways. No one cares about that. We care about where DHGames stand on the fact that they've adjusted their prices. That's all I care about, right? And I am not touching my wallet. I'm not touching anything until DHGames do that. So yeah, if people are asking me, is this package good value? I'm not going to tell you to buy it. I'm sorry. I have way too much market influence, and I'm not going to encourage the spending of this because I know I could encourage you to do it, and I know I could make tons of money heading DHGames' direction. And what's the whole point of the no spending movement if I say, yo guys, buy this? It's stupid. It's stupid. So I'm not going to influence it at all. And I feel uncomfortable giving event reviews at the moment for that reason. But yeah, let's just move on. Imp's Adventure, standard stuff, right? Normal things that we get. We get the normal campaign loot drop currency. If you did go ahead and buy this package, it doubles your rewards from this, so you'll get double the amount of this particular currency, these Voodoo Dolls, and you'll also get double all the items like skin chests. One thing about the skin chest, it doesn't include the new Vesa skin. That's just worth bearing in mind, so you're going to have to wait a few months for that one. The 5-star chest does include Freya and HomeXJUMP, which is good to see, and also the light and dark chest includes Mockman, which is very, very cool. So there are a few things that have changed that are good to know. Everything else is very, very standard. Same principles with Imp's Adventure. Roll your dice, move around, try upgrade these huts as quick as you can, and use lucky dice to roll from either this spot down here all the way across to try and move from there or here or whatever it is to cut the corner and land back on the lucky hut to then get the lucky dice back. It's basically free movement. It's very, very useful. We've got the Voodoo Juju, which is quite hard to say, actually, but that is this event. We go ahead and get these Voodoo Dolls and cash them in. You can get yourself a mysterious artifact selection chest, which is very, very nice, and there's also flags if you want them. There's star spawn materials if you want them. If you're a free-to-play player, you should hopefully be able to pick up the Glory Hero Epic selection chest, which is going to give you any light and dark hero in the game, including Mockman, and also all the other heroes in the game as well, which is excellent. So every hero is in there, which is 5-star. And if you wanted, there's skins, there's heroic summon scrolls, there's super wishing coins, prophet orbs. That stuff I would kind of go towards the end and grab. Skins are good though because they help you get more legendary skins, and legendary skins means more attack and more HP from the Celestial Island. Moving on, we have the Shelter mission. This is an absolute must do. I don't care if you like the heroes or not. You get 5 dice for every hero you cash in. Importantly though, let's talk about the heroes. HomeXJUMP is an excellent hero for the Fortress faction, can do his own Seal Land, is a great first E5, and yeah, really solid hero. On Kiramaru, good tenant. We've got Gloria, another great tenant, and we have Waldeck, a great hero to build to 9-star, so that his frenzy ability is given to your heroes, especially with an Eloise. This is very, very good. Also, people are starting to use Waldeck now on deeper and more highly tuned Star Expedition teams. So if you don't already have Waldeck copies, this might be something to consider. So yeah, very, very fun. I'm going to be doing a video about those teams on my VIP series, where I'm actually going to try and do it on my account. Don't know if it's going to work. It's definitely going to be an experiment, but I'm looking forward to seeing where that ends up going. Additionally, Light and Dark seems good. We've got Amun-Ra and Russell, so if you're in the need of a Russell, there you go. He is a tenant for EOS, so this could be a copy of Russell you needed. And Amun-Ra is just an excellent hero and a tenant for Eloise. So yeah, really, really solid hero. Also a tenant for Lord of Fear Aspen, if that was something you needed. So yeah, Amun-Ra is very cool. I know a lot of people that need a ton of Amun-Ra copies because they want to do some shenanigans with Amun-Ra in the Realms Gate. So yeah, definitely worth a pickup if you've got 2,000 gems to spare. However, you might also know that next week we've got a huge event coming up, so potentially don't spend your gems straight away. We need to talk about that as well. Soul Awakening Gala. This is epic. So this is a way that if you do Awakenings, you're going to get points. You've probably seen this a million times before. 20 for an SSS, which no one ever gets, and 3 for an E-, and then it scales up depending on what you get. Now, those points, of course, will accumulate you prizes. Transcendence Copy Chest, we've got a Transcendence Copy Chest 3, we've got the Glory Epic Hero Selection Chest, which contains every hero in the game, and then if you get to 100, you have the choice of a Mysterious Artifact Selection Chest, very nice, or relics and a flag, so excellent choices there. And if you get all the way up to 150, you can get Spiritual Essence or an Essence Sublimation Chest, which can allow you to upgrade the abilities of those heroes you've improved in the Tree of Origins. So both of these are perfectly great, but I would personally lean towards the sublimation stuff, because you can actually get a lot of these things just from logging in and gaining them from campaigns. So yeah, one thing to bear in mind. And now here's the little trick for free-to-play players that I was thinking. The Soul Contract, right? This is something we've seen before. It looks like a regular thing now that we can expect from Imp's Adventure events. You put in 6-star heroes, you exchange them one time only to get yourself some contract story gems. Now, some people use these contract story gems straight away. I wouldn't recommend that at all. I would save them. Save them because then when finally a Soul Awakening Gala event does come along where you have enough contract story gems saved, you can then awaken, get all the way up to 100 and grab yourself a mysterious artifact selection chest. Awesome. You probably need about 1,500 or maybe more story gems to make that possible. So just bear that in mind, because you've got to bear in mind you're probably going to get like 5 to 6 from each awakening. Sometimes you'll get 4. So let's say it's an average of 5. You probably need to do like 20 awakens, but do remember that you can disassemble awakened heroes to get more contract story gems back to then do more awakens. So it does kind of feed into itself. So that's one thing to bear in mind. Also, by the way, every single 20 points you get, you are going to get yourself a Transcendence chest. So you do increase the number of Transcendence heroes that have been awakened into the market, which is great because then you can sell them in the auction house, and maybe you can even get more story gems in the process, which could be pretty cool. And getting to 150 here could be something a free-to-play player could do if you saved even more. So you probably need to save like another 10. So if you go into this with, 10? So that's going to be like, 2,500 story gems, contract story gems, whatever you can amass as a free-to-play player, you can go ahead and even get these to improve your high-end Transcendence heroes, which would be epic. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff to consider, and I think it does open the option now for free-to-play players to consider using 6 stars as food. Do bear in mind, though, that that could push your progress backwards, but it is only once a month, and I think once a month, it's not that terrible, and there is a chance that DHGames will go from normal factions to light and dark, normal factions to light and dark, so it might not even be once a month. It might be once in each faction every 2 months. So we'll have to wait and see what DHGames stick with, but it is potentially something worth considering that you can grab these contract story gems totally free, use them in the Awakening Gala, and get yourself a mysterious selection chest. Very, very nice. Now, that's this event. That's it. There's nothing else. It's just a very standard Imp's Adventure, Shelter Mission, all the usual stuff. It's a pretty cool event. It's your normal Imp's Adventure stuff, so that's got you sorted for the next week. Let's go take a look at next week's event. So this is where things are going to get interesting. So I don't know if you know, Shishi events are very good. I went nuts on, I think, the last Shishi event. They gave Vesa, which he became Transcended. Very huge event, lots of great rewards. It's likely that this one's going to be just as good. And this is a Profit Orb event. So this is one of the reasons we tell you to save your Profit Orbs for huge events like this. My rule is always, if you can get yourself an artifact, use your Profit Orbs, right? If the event doesn't give you an artifact, you should probably not be using your Profit Orbs. That's normally my rule. So if you went in on the last Profit Orb event, then I'm sorry, guys. This event's going to be the big one. Now, you might need gems for this as well. You might need gold. We need to wait for more information in the future as to what this Shishi event will bring. But I will recommend save gems until you get more information. A lot of your accounts might not have that many gems on, especially considering we're still on the back end of Anniversary and a bunch of other stuff that happened not too many weeks ago. So a lot of you will be pretty tapped. I know definitely the last Heroic Summons event we just had was difficult for people because they didn't have that many scrolls saved. In fact, the majority of people just didn't do anything last event, even though it was a very, very good event, because a lot of us just aren't spending at the moment. So very, very interesting, right? Profit Orbs, it says Freya. Pretty sure she was the reward last time, so I'm a bit bugged by that. I don't like that, giving the same hero again. I think that might just be an error. I don't think DHGames will follow through on this. If they do, I think they're crazy. Heroic Miracle, Mockman, very nice. That's an excellent reward to give. New hero, very smart move from DHGames, good stuff. And then, of course, we have the Fantasy Factory, same as always. So, what do you take away from this? Well, just save your stuff. Make sure you got those Profit Orbs ready to go. And yeah, should be a very good event next week. So, we've got a very fun event this week. As I said about spending, I'm not going to go on that again. But yeah, I'm just probably not going to buy this package unless we hear something from DHGames. And yeah, that is where I am at for that. And next week looks awesome. We just don't know exactly what the Shishi event's going to do, because DHGames have become increasingly vague with their event spoilers. And I don't blame them, because they have been chronically changing things at the last minute at the moment. And I feel like they're just panicking a little bit, which is a little uncomfortable. So honestly, for your own sake, DHGames, just chill out, man. Just chill out. You don't need to be so stressy. You don't need to worry so much. And if the bosses are running you too hard, then tell them MK said slow down. I'm aware, and I've actually mentioned this before. I'm actually going to put it in a video, funnily enough. I mentioned it on Twitch. But a lot of people ask, why don't that many heroes get skins anymore? And I have a theory, right? they're releasing new heroes, they release Transcendence heroes, they release ace skins, right? All of that requires someone to design what that looks like. So I have a theory that they've run their artists for the game so hard, because I don't imagine there's that much of a team, because it's a very specific art style, so I don't imagine the artist team is very big. I reckon they've run them so hard that they can't actually release heroes quick enough, especially like they were doing a hero every month, plus transcending heroes, plus all the skins. That's a lot of art to do and and come up with. So I wouldn't be surprised if the reason we don't see that many skins coming into the game anymore is because the artists are getting burned out, right? Because they have to produce new heroes, they have to produce new Transcendence heroes, and they have to produce new ace skins. So just a thought as to why we don't get as many skins as we used to for the game. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments section. It's a crazy theory, but workers are often a limiting factor on a business's performance. So if you are working your workers too hard, some things have got to get cut. And basic skins that don't make you much money potentially will get cut. So yeah, just an interesting thought. Anyway, folks, I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe for more event reviews like this. And of course, have a great week and happy idling.